Redmi recently launched their most affordable 5G smartphone in the market. This right here is the Redmi 12 5G, but it was not too long ago that Poco also entered the fray and launched their own most affordable 5G phone for India, the Poco M6 Pro 5G. Hello everyone, I'm Ania for Fiber and this is the battery and performance test. This is the ultimate showdown between two siblings, the Redmi 12 5G and the Poco M6 Pro 5G. For those who don't know, the Redmi 12 5G and Poco M6 Pro share the same specifications because of course the Poco M6 Pro 5G is a rebadged version of the Redmi 12 5G, but despite the same specifications, these are two phones from different teams, and so can we expect to see a difference in tuning? So which among the two phones is the better MIUI smartphone, and if battery and performance are the key criteria for you while purchasing a brand new smartphone, which among the two should you get? Keep watching this video until the very end, but of course, before we get on with the rest of the episode, consider hitting that red subscribe button for detailed tech videos and also turn on the bell so that you don't miss any of our latest updates. With that said, let's get started. As always, we start with booting up both devices, and not very surprisingly, they do take quite a bit to boot up, where the Redmi is the first one to turn on. So for this test, both smartphones are connected to the same Wi-Fi network, a dark mode is enabled, brightness and audio volume is set at 50%, screen refresh rate is set at 90 Hz, a vivid screen profile is active, and of course, both phones are 100% charged. And for those watching our battery and performance test video for the first time, let me tell you, we start this test with a 2 hour of YouTube video playback where I talk about the display performance, like how the displays look side by side of the competing devices. Then I follow that up with an hour of 1080p video recording, followed by an hour of benchmarks, followed by an hour of gaming, so that you can also get an idea, like in the real world, if you put significant load on the competing devices, how would they fare in the real world. Then in the final hour of the test, we run an hour of social media. So we start with the 2 hour YouTube video playback, and since we are talking about two phones that only differ in their names and looks, the Redmi 12 5G and Poco M6 Pro feature the same displays, both in terms of specifications as well as their tuning. Still, for those who don't know, these right here are almost 6.8 inches display with Full HD Plus resolution, 90 Hz refresh rate and up to 550 nits brightness. And since we are talking about budget phones here, there are no fancy things going around such as the likes of HDR10 video playback or 10-bit colors. Nonetheless, for what it's worth, these are well-tuned LCD panels offering decent brightness levels indoors. Viewing angles are not the best, but looking at the phones head-on should not be a problem whatsoever. In between the two displays, again, they are very close. However, from what I could make out from the footage, I think the Redmi does have a tad edge here for being teeny weeny bit brighter than the Poco. But you guys tell me your thoughts. Which one do you think looks better? Anyway, we are done with the 2 hour YouTube video playback, and currently the battery levels. Well, the Poco M6 Pro is leading with 90% battery left, but the Redmi 12 5G is right behind with 89% battery left. Quite the efficient performance from both the smartphones. Now let's move on. So we now start with the 1080p video recording on both smartphones, and as the devices are at it, here's a look at the camera specifications. Both the Redmi 12 5G and Poco M6 Pro share the exact same camera hardware, that is a 50 megapixel primary camera paired with a 2 megapixel depth sensor and an 8 megapixel selfie snapper. Video recording is capped at 1080p 30 fps on both the front and rear cameras of both smartphones. Here are some comparison shots captured from both the Redmi 12 5G and Poco M6 Pro on your screens. Let me know which phone you think captures better photos. Of course, for an in-depth look at both phones' cameras, Manas has done a full comparison video on the Fiber Hindi channel. You can also check out that video linked in the card above. For now, we are done with the 1080p video recording round, and still the Poco M6 Pro is in the lead with 80% battery left, while the Redmi 12 5G is again right behind with 79% battery left. Okay, it is now time for benchmarks, and while we are not expecting performance crunching numbers here, still, since it is a tradition in our battery and performance test to run a series of benchmarks for an hour, But first, of course, the specs. Both the Redmi 12 5G and Poco M6 Pro are powered by the Snapdragon 4 Gen 2 chipset, and while the Poco M6 Pro is available in up to 6GB RAM options, the Redmi 12 5G is available in up to 8GB RAM options. But anyway, here's the Geekbench 6 performance of both phones, and as expected, very similar results. I mean, with these scores, it can be any phone's game. Of course, the Redmi did score slightly higher. Also note, for budget phones here, a score above 2000 in the multi-core round is really good. Similarly, in Antutu also, first up, since these are budget devices, I was only able to run the light version of Antutu 3D benchmark. But that aside, the scores again turned pretty decent for a budget phone, with Redmi again taking the slight edge. Finally, in CPU throttle test also, both phones posted the same 77% score, again showing that under heavy loads, the CPU performance should be able to hold up pretty well on both devices. Now here's a breakdown of the benchmark performance of both smartphones on your screens right now. You can pause and take a look. But anyway, before we get on to the gaming round, here's a look at the battery stats for now. The Poco M6 Pro is still in the lead with 68% battery left, while the Redmi 12 5G is now left with 66% battery. So keeping aside the benchmarks, when it comes to the gaming performance of both phones, once again, similar sort of performance. The good thing that I found about both these phones is the fact that despite running Asphalt 9 Legends for long stretches, both phones never heat up. Yes, they do get slightly warm, but no signs of overheating was detected. That said, these phones are not meant for hardcore gaming. I mean, for the name's sake, yes, they can run any sort of game out there, but giving this example of Asphalt 9 only, the graphics were not the sharpest, and I did encounter a bunch of stutters and frame drops here and there. But again, these are not gaming phones, these are budget phones, and at a budget of around 10,000 to 12,000 rupees, I am very much impressed with the performance. Okay, we are done with 5 hours of testing here, and the Poco M6 Pro is still in the lead with 58% battery left, while the Redmi 12 5G now has a 55% battery left. So we are done with the heavy tasks. It is now time to run an hour of social media, and by the way, up until now, the battery performance has been quite good on both the smartphones. But okay, for now, let's fast forward to the 6-hour mark and the final results. The Poco M6 Pro finishes with 49% battery left, while the Redmi 12 5G finishes with 46% battery left. Here's an hour-by-hour breakdown of the battery drain of both smartphones on your screens right now, and as you can see, neck-to-neck results, both are almost the same. In fact, in a different situation, the results could be reversed also, where Redmi can also finish with less battery drain compared to Poco. So since we are dealing with two similar smartphones here, which among the two should you buy? First up, both phones, RAM and storage variants with their pricing are on your screens right now, and mind you, this is inclusive of discounts and offers, and again saying these are two similar phones. So in that case, I would suggest going here for the 6GB RAM variant of the Poco M6 Pro, simply because for 500 rupees less, I think the Poco M6 Pro makes for a better deal overall. Rest, you guys let me know your thoughts about both these smartphones, and if you're eyeing a new budget phone right now for yourself, which among the two would you pick, the Redmi 12 5G or the Poco M6 Pro? Everything in the comments below, and as always, for all the latest in tech, stay tuned to Fiber. I'll catch you all in the next one. Thank you for watching.